Yo, MRD. Welcome to the third tutorial in the series of rigging a character turnaround, and in this one I'm going to be parenting the bones to the different parts of the body. Alright, but before we begin, I want to go in, so I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to delete the bone that I wanted to control the nose, because I've decided that we can parent the nose to the bone that will control the entire face as well. Okay, so we don't necessarily need this bone here, so I'm just going to click on it and come over into my properties, right click and remove item smart to delete that bone. Okay, all right, so let's begin. Now in previous tutorials I've showed you how to parent bones to different parts of the body, but I'm going to go step by step here, just in case you guys are too lazy to go back to those tutorials, or you really you've never seen my channel before, and this is your first video from me. I'm just going to do it step by step so you can know how to parent the different parts of the body to the bone. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to parent the head to its bone, so I'm going to select the head layer, and this is the layer that contains all of the head, right? The ears, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Okay, so I'm going to parent this to this bone, so select it and hold down the control key on the keyboard and left click on the bone like so, and then we want to select any of the control points on the layer itself. So I'm going to just select this one, and then we want to right click the bone and click on link to bone, and then we can left click outside of this area right here and then click on the bone itself, and we're just going to try to rotate it just to test it out. So if I should left click and drag, we can see that the entire head moves along with that bone. Okay, so that is good. So let's move on. The next step is I'm going to parent the ears to their bone. So I'm just going to select the right ear, and I'm going to hold on control and left click on the body and do the same thing. Select any of the points on the control point for the layer, and then make sure I right click on the bone and click link to bone, and that is linked. And you can, well, I think it's a good practice to test out. Once you link an item to a bone, you test it out to see if it actually works. So yeah, so let's move on to the left ear. So let me click on this and do the same. Hold down the control key, left click on the bone and click any one of the control points here, right click on the bone, link to bone, and then let me test this out, and we see that that is linked. Okay, let me undo that, save. Okay, now I want to link the entire face to this bone here, and we already know we have a group with all the items of the face, right? So this is the head only. Let me click on this, and then we see that there is a group with just the items of the face minus the nose. So I'm just going to click on this group and hold on control, click on the body bone, left click on any of the control points and right click link to bone. So let me test that out. So we see if this bone moves, the face moves. Okay, all right, so we can start seeing two issues. One, the nose is not moving along with it, and two, depending on how far up you put this, because of how the character is made, you will see this discrepancy right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix parent the nose to the bone first. So let me undo this. Click on the nose group and then hold on the control key, click on the bone, select any of the control points for that group layer and right click and link to bone. So it's linked to this bone as well. So when this moves, it also moves. Okay, so that is awesome. Well, that is awesome. So yeah, so let's fix this piece right here. For the head, I think it's within the face layer, the face group here. Well, we'll just leave it out for now to save time. But what I'm going to do later on is just to select this piece right here and just extend it. Okay, so I'm going to select the 2 points that make up this piece right here and just drag it down so that when you move the face up, you'll see more of the gray area and it won't look like it won't look like this. It won't look cut off here. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just extend that down later on. All right, so let's leave that and move on. Let me test this out again. Okay, so that is fine. All right, so let's go ahead and, well, before I move on, we might want these bones to move along with the head bone when it moves, right? I mean, we can work that out later on, okay? But I'm just telling you about that now, that you might want to link it to this bone so that everything moves together, or you can leave it off, but I think it's better to actually link it, so you know, whenever you move the head bone, these also move. But let me undo that and I'll get back to that. I'm just going to go ahead and parent the rest of the body. So the first piece is I'm going to do is the upper body. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Click on that, click this. Let me zoom in so that I can make sure that I'm selecting the right one. Right click, link to bone, and let me test. Okay, there we see the head is also moving along with the body, with the upper part of the body. So that is good. And I'm going to link this piece, right, which is the lower part of the body, to its bone. Okay. And remember that its bone is this one right here. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. Link to bone and just test it out. And we see that that works. Okay, so I'm already at the legs, so I'll just do the legs and then we can go ahead and do the arms. Okay, so let me select the upper leg, upper left leg. Hold on Control key, click on that, click this, right click, link to bone. I'm just going to go ahead and do this one real quick. Right, this is which one? The lower leg. Okay, so that's good. Let me get back to that. Lower left leg. Okay, hold on the Control key, click on that, link to bone. Then I'll do this one as well. Click on any of the control points, right click, link to bone, then this one as well, and do that, link to bone. And I'm just going to go ahead and test them now. So that works, that works, that works, and that works. Okay, so the legs have been connected just fine. So now for the arms, so I'm going to select the upper arm or the upper left arm and do the same thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this real quickly because I think by now you should understand how to parent the items, even if you didn't know before, being that I have done it so many times already. Okay, but I will still continue to do it without fast forwarding the video just in case there's someone out there that still does not understand. Okay, so let me just test it out. Okay, so that's fine, and that is fine. All right, so that was quick, and let's move on to the, okay, let me zoom in a bit so we can see that there's something going on here. It wasn't lined up correctly, so I'm just going to select this piece right here, the lower arm, and just sort of move it. Let me select its control point here, just move it down a bit just to line it up like so, and then move this down. Okay, and this should be fine right now. Well, there's still some, doesn't look perfect to me. I probably shouldn't have moved it because now I'll have issues. I want to make it perfect. Is that fine? Okay, we leave it as is. Okay, so that's okay for me. Yeah, just undo that. Bring this back down. Okay, so moving on to the right arm. So upper right arm, body. Really don't want to make this video super long like the previous video. So let me just go ahead and do this real quick. Right click, link to bone, and then the hand, I will do the same. Right click, link to bone, and we can do our tests now. So let me, okay, and that is fine. So let me save. So now if I should move this, we can see that all of the upper parts of the body moves along with it. And if I move this bone here, we can see that the legs, the lower part of the body moves along with that bone there. Okay. Now, what you might want to do once you've finished setting this all up, notice that we still have the scale bone and the green bone, or the green point, which allows you to move. Right now, you might not want to interfere with these ones, you know, else your rig will fall apart. So you can actually turn off whichever one of these points you want up here. So I believe this one is for the green. All right, so if you turn that off, there's no way you will be able to move parts of the body that you don't want to move. But the problem is when you get to, for example, the master bone, right? Because it allows you to move the entire character, so you might not want to turn that off. And that just reminds me that I haven't parented the master bone to the entire character. So let me turn this back on and zoom out, and I'm going to select the, let me go all the way up to master and control, select the S-Droid folder, because remember the S-Droid folder contains everything here. I'm just going to parent it to its bone. Link to bone. So now we have that to control the movement of the entire character like so, if we needed to. All right, so that is good. And I'm going to, let me zoom in a bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and do some more checks to see if everything is parented correctly. Okay, so let's fix the issue of these bones not moving with the head bone. Okay, and the easiest way to fix this is that remember how originally I removed their parent, removed this bone as their parent. Yeah, so that is actually the solution, to make the head bone the parent of both of the ear bones, right? So sometimes when you're rigging, you're thinking about stuff, you might do things that you later will basically regress on or change, right? So this is one of those things that I've decided that I have to change in order to fix it. So the first thing we have to do to get that going is to disconnect the bones from the layer that we parented them to. Okay, so the first thing is to select the bone, then hold down the Control key and select its child layer, which is this for the left here, and then you just right click and click disconnect. And then if we should select the bone and try to move the ear, we can see that it's no longer parented to this layer here. So let me just undo that to bring it back, and we're of course going to do the same thing with this one. So hold on hold on Control, then click on that, then right click, disconnect, and of course I'm going to do my checks again just to make sure that it's been disconnected. Okay, and then to reparent it to this bone, first we'll have to find out the name of this bone. So to do that, just simply click on the bone, and then if we look over into the properties, we can see that its name is bone 18. Okay, so now we're going to click on let's go with the right ear first. So click on the right ear, and in its properties we're going to go up and search for where it says parent, and within this list here we just want to search for bone 18 and click on that. And of course, once we do that, the bone will move from where it was, because its origins have now been reassigned, because it's now been parented to this bone. So if we zoom out, it should be somewhere maybe at the top. Let me zoom out some more. Okay, I'm not seeing that bone, but it's there somewhere, I'm sure. Let me, here it is. It went downward. So let me move that up. Yeah, this is one of the annoying things that I personally don't like about when I'm disconnecting bones and reparenting them. They move in some random places. So let me go ahead and do this one as well. So let me reselect that actually. Click on it. Parent bone 18. Okay, so let me zoom out and see where that one is. Okay, and this one went to the top. Okay, so let me just bring that back down, and let's reposition them on their respective ears. Okay, so let me just move this right here. Let me move this one right here. And again, if you're a perfectionist, you might want to, line them up so you can use your guide and make sure that they are both horizontally straight. Okay, and I'm going to rotate both of these bones by rotate it so it will be standing upward. Okay, so the angle is 90. I'm just going to change that to 0, and it should default back to its standing position. So this one is inside here, 0, and that is up. Okay, and that is good, and they've been reparented to the head bone. Right, so now we want to parent them back to their respective ears, or their ear layer. Okay, so let me do that again, and you already know how to do this, so I won't repeat myself. I'll just go ahead and do it. Link to bone. Let me save that. And link to bone. Okay, so that should be fine right now. So if I move this, okay, that moves. If I move this, that moves. And if I move the head, okay, so we're getting some weird stuff going on here, but that is okay. I like when we run into problems. That way we can find some way to fix it. And it's common to run into issues whenever you are rigging a character. Okay, that is part of the job, trust me. Okay. All right, so to fix this issue, what I think I'm going to do is just to create, put these bones on there, create a separate bone for these ears, right? So we have a separate skeleton system. We have one skeleton system here which is the master, and we have another one for the body. So I'll just create a third one, and that will only be for the ears. Okay, so we'll have to go ahead and delete these. So let me click on this and find the name for that bone here. Right click, remove, and click on this. Right click, remove. All right, so let's think about this logically. Now the head bone controls the head, right? So if I put the bones for the ears inside here and we select the head bone, those bones should move as well, right? That makes sense, because they're within the head, which is being controlled by the head bone. All right, I know I'm talking a lot, but I want to make sure that I explain everything thoroughly. Okay, so let's go ahead and right click, new layer, other skeleton, and let's call this one ears. Okay, and let me zoom in, move this here, and of course I'm going to rotate this by 90 degrees. And even though I didn't want to make this video super long, it's going to be super long. We're already at 23 minutes, but that is okay. So yeah, so that's one bone, and I'm going to right click, create child bone. However, I'm going to deparent this one. We don't want this to be the child of that bone, of the first bone, so no. And move this up, rotate it by 90 degrees, and scale it down like so. Let me scale this one down as well. And of course, being, if you're a perfectionist, again, you want them to be on the same point horizontally. So let me just move this up. Okay, rechange this to 90 because we kind of altered its rotation a bit. Okay, so that is good. Let me bring this down a bit actually, and this is good, like so. Let me check using the ruler here. Okay, that is fine. And for the millionth time, we will be parenting the ears, the ear bones to their respective ears. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Link to bone. and link to bone. Let me make sure that I get the bone. All right, zoom out. And let me save, and then let's actually test this now. If I select this bone, wait, let me move this out of the way.
Yo, come on.
Okay, so that's parented. That's parented. So let's test our theory. If we move the head bone, because the hairs is within the ear bones are within the head, they should move as well, right? Based on, I guess, logic. So let's go ahead and move that. And we see that they also move, which is pretty cool, right? If you want this one to move with it as well, yeah, you could create it separately and put it at the same place within the head area here. Although I'm not sure if I want it to move along with the head, right? So yeah, I think I'll leave it like that. Yeah. Okay, so it's all rigged up. Now the next thing to note is that, you know, you should go over it again and test it to make sure that all the parts work, right? Move the different parts, make sure that they work. And when you're done doing that part, let's go into this again. You can turn off the different control points here. So the function for all of those are here. So this is for the green one. This one is for the scale, right? So if you don't want to scale any of the bones, you can turn that off. And that one is pretty useful, because now you can just select the rotation points only, and without having to worry about the arm scaling or the different parts of the body scaling. Okay. But what I recommend doing, because if you turn off the especially this green one here, which allows you to move, you won't be able to see it here, right, for the master. So you won't be able to move the entire character, because you do need this one to be on. So what I recommend is leave this on, right? You can turn off the scale and just leave the rotation and the move points on. Yeah, leave those on only. And then what you can do is, for the ones that you don't want to move, and that is when you click on them, you accidentally click on them, it moves like so. What you can do is just to right click, convert, and click grade to gray it out, so you won't be able to move it ever again. And then you can focus on just the rotating point here. Okay, so that you can do that for pretty much all of the points that you don't want to move. Right, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, but I'm going to end this tutorial right here, and I guess we'll continue in the next video. So that's it for this one, and I will see you in the next video.
Yo, Marty.